Boxing out of Melbourne, Florida, weighing in at 228 pounds, Ted Marshall. His opponent, weighing in at 215 pounds, from New York City, New York, Dr. Red Roberts.
Weasel, that's what the crowd is yelling. Is Dr. Red Roberts there? You see him there. A competitor who's certainly not loved by the crowd here at our TV studio. But I'll tell you one thing, I think he's going to have his hands full today in the form of Ted Marshall, former United States heavyweight champion. And this should prove to be a very interesting match indeed. Ted Marshall, of course, from Melbourne, Florida, and Red Roberts from New York City, New York. Roberts coming in around 235 pounds. Both men about equal size, and like we stated last week with Ted Marshall, he is on a slim down program. He was up to about 250 pounds, but now he is very slim and trim. And a nice takedown by Marshall on Red Roberts. Well, I mean to tell you, Marshall didn't waste any time here, and Dr. Red Roberts, I hope after this match I want to get a chance to talk to this man about some very controversial comments that he had made last week, more or less calling everybody in the state of Florida and everywhere else a mental midget. I kind of disagree with that. I think that's an insult to the fine people here in the Miami area. I can't believe that he's the only one with a brain around here. Roberts complaining to the referee, Dan Donovan. Of course, this Roberts, very, very controversial competitor indeed. He allows no quarter. Very, very colorful competitor, one must say, with the red and white tights and, of course, the red hair to match. And Marshall with a takedown on Roberts. Roberts powers out. Well, there you see, of course, Roberts continuing to argue. This is all he does in the ring. When things aren't going exactly his way, he continues to argue with everybody. Well, I guess that's just his nature, although I don't agree with it personally. And a full Nelson being applied by Ted Marshall on Red Roberts. I'll tell you, this Ted Marshall is a very, very powerful individual. Don't let his size fool you. He is known to bench press close to 600 pounds. He is a very, very big man. Very powerful man, I should say. Not so much physically big, at about 6 foot, 225 pounds. A nice takedown and leg trip on Red Roberts. Marshall maintaining the advantage. Of course, whenever you have a competitor such as Red Roberts in the ring, the referee certainly does have his hands full. You know, one must give credit to these referees. It is a very, very difficult job to see everything. Of course, the crowd is totally around the ring, where the referee is only seeing one viewpoint. So, in case any of you out there blame the referees, it's really not their fault. They just cannot see everything at one time. There you see Roberts in a great deal of pain right now. Ted Marshall still maintaining the advantage. And a cheap shot by Red Roberts as he puts a finger right in the eye of Ted Marshall. Roberts' arm whips Marshall across the ring into the turnbuckles, and there's that shoulder right to the midsection. And Ted Marshall retaliating, and a full body slam by Ted Marshall on Red Roberts. Oh, wow! Right across the neck of 1, 2. And Roberts manages to power out once again. And there's that knee right to the midsection. Very controversial. But a full body slam being applied by Red Roberts onto Ted Marshall. Oh, wow! And there's that knee right across the frontal lobe of Ted Marshall. Indeed, that is painful. And rubbing those boot laces right along the side of the face of Ted Marshall. And believe you me, that hurts. And appears that he's rubbing the eyes across the top ring rope. And of course, Red Roberts will use about any tactic he can to win a match. As you can see right there, a knee to the midsection. I think this type of thing is totally uncalled for in professional wrestling, but nonetheless, I guess that's what professional wrestling is. People take all the shortcuts. But right now, Roberts is staggered, and Ted Marshall with a nice backdrop and a 1. Well, Roberts manages to pull out again. Marshall applying the half Nelson on Red Roberts. Well, you can see the signs in the background, the fans dare call him the Red Weasel. They just certainly don't like him. They don't like his philosophies. And, well, frankly, I'm supposed to be impartisan, but I do have to agree with the crowd in some respect. Now look at this. Now tying an opponent up in the ropes. Typical Red Roberts way of doing things. Leaving an opponent helpless while he continues to pound away. And referee Dan Donovan stepping in the middle trying to break things up. This is actually a very, very cheap way to try and win a match by not allowing your opponent to have any freedom whatsoever. And of course the referee trying to call. Now wait a minute. Now Roberts just hit the referee, apparently hit the referee in the side of the head. And the referee is calling for the bell. He has called for the bell. And it would appear to me that Red Roberts was just disqualified. And, well, once again, we're going to be blessed with the presence of Dr. Red Roberts.